this video, I'm going to talk about the steps one should take to form a RAIST County Task Force team. The RAIST is comprised of a subcommittee of volunteers formed in 2020, which was charged by the Riverlands Alliance to advance invasive species education, control, and prevention in western Tennessee and western Kentucky. As mentioned in the previous video, the RAIST aims to provide support in form of general guidance, volunteer recruitment, a website, regional communication among teams, serve as a liaison between the Riverlands Alliance and county task force teams, and facilitate team startup and initial funding. A county task force team is an independent group comprised of volunteers who work within a specific county in western Tennessee or western Kentucky and receive general guidance, direction, and support from the RAIST. The Friends of Clarks River are managing startup funds associated with each task force, and purchasing associated with the county task force teams will be described later. Within each team, there will be a task force team leader and team members. The team leader guides other volunteers to meet the team's invasive species education, control, and prevention goals in their assigned county. The leader of each task force team should have an herbicide applicator license and feel comfortable training and working with individuals on invasive species control and prevention. Startup funding will be provided through grants received by the RAIST for any necessary basic trainings, which I will describe later. The county task force leader will also need to be consistent, preferably across multiple years. This could be difficult in situations where student groups form the backbone of the group. In this case, it may make the most sense for the student group advisor to be the group leader, and for there to be student team leaders as well. For instance, here at Murray State University, our student chapter of the Wildlife Society forms the backbone of our RAIST County Task Force team. I advise the student chapter of taking on many of the roles of the task force leader while also incorporating two student leaders, one that is an older student and one younger. The hope with doing this is to allow for easy transitions between years because students can begin to teach each other and pass on the information they learn from year to year, and I will always be a consistent leader across years. Other groups may want to explore using a similar system with a task force leader and one or two members taking on an assistant team leader role to help share the responsibilities of this position. The County Task Force team leader will provide oversight for recruitment of volunteers, task force events, budgeting, and communication with the Riverlands Alliance. The team leader will be provided with contact information for interested volunteers from the RAIST, but may need to do some direct recruitment to obtain sufficient help. Responsibilities should include, but are not limited to, maintaining a list of membership and their level of involvement, maintenance of a budget associated with $4,500 in startup funds, pursuit of external funding, emailing updates to members in the RAIST at least quarterly, coordinating with RAIST and landowners to plan biannual field events within home counties to control invasive species and promote invasive species awareness and education, and leading at least quarterly meetings with the team to plan and coordinate educational and outreach activities and other team activities. County Task Force team members can choose tasks identified by the RAIST and their team that they feel most suited to perform. Participation in multiple levels of duties is encouraged but not required by team volunteers. It is recommended teams develop individual benchmarks for members as a form of motivation and to promote continued growth and experience of the individual and the team. Example roles team members can play include helping to prepare and distribute educational materials, conducting outreach, contributing to the online recording of invasive species within the region via iNaturalist, receiving relevant training to assist with direct control of invasives, and others as deemed appropriate.